Cameron Hogwood. Interviews. Comment. 2022 NFL Draft 1-month countdown. Aidan Hutchinson to go number 1. Travon Walker's rise. The Malik Willis story. Derek Stingley Jr. ? With 1 month to go until the 2022 NFL Draft, Sky Sports' Cameron Hogwood guides you through the need-to-know names and storylines. From Aidan Hutchinson in Travon Walker to Kenny Pickett in Drake London. The 2022 NFL Draft is 1 month away. But what do we know so far? Red carpets, Oscar-worthy suits, a Fountains of Bellagio backdrop, in-your-face swankiness, Roger Goodell-directed jeers and picks, lots and lots of picks. Draft Paradise, coming to Nevada's very own town of Paradise. Recommended. 1/5. Emma Raducanu criticizes unfair, misleading response to growing list of sponsorship deals. Read more. Recommended by. A spectacle 2 years in the making awaits as Vegas plays NFL pathway to college football's best and brightest. As general managers build and tinker with draft boards, we take a look at the picture so far. NFL free agency tracker. Chiefs to sign Jones on 1-year deal. Chiefs trade Hill to Dolphins, receiver to sign record deal. Top 10 locks? The early phone calls are shaping up, or so we might like to think. Trawl through the free agency clamor and the draft clues are there. The Jacksonville Jaguars moves to tag offensive tackle Cam Robinson and sign guard Brandon Scherf, seemingly paving the way for Michigan pass rusher Aidan Hutchinson to join the Trevor Lawrence charges 2022's number 1 overall pick. Rangy, suffocating, dogged Cincinnati cornerback Ahmad Sauce Gardner appears to have leapfrogged LSU's Derek Stingley Jr. as the shutdown perimeter obstacle of the year, while Notre Dame's flying and diving safety Kyle Hamilton, watch his interception against Florida State, stakes a strong claim as the most accomplished player in the entire class. NC State's Ike Ekwonu meanwhile accompanies Alabama's Evan Neal as the premier quarterback barricading, lane-shoveling run conductors on offer in a prime attraction for the New York Giants and Seattle Seahawks of the world. Stay tuned for curveballs. The quarterbacks. Malik Willis was and remains the most compelling story heading into April as quarterback-needy teams of the present and not-so-distant future contemplate raw, undisputed talent accompanied by the asterisk of small-time opposition. Experienced competition at the Senior Bowl boosted his stock, as did a pro day that offered the aesthetics of a ravishing deep ball that may or may not have ended up as an interception in a live-action scenario. The thought of the Liberty star being the first quarterback off the board is becoming increasingly less wild. Pittsburgh's fake sliding Kenny Pickett projects among analysts as the most pro-ready option under center with the off-platform arm talent, slick processing in pocket-escaping athleticism that led his emergence in 2021. With 4-year Cincinnati starter and Pro Day winner, Desmond Ridder comes seasoned pocket poise, polished mechanics, and design-worthy mobility. Ole Miss Matt Corral plays with heart and precision with the willingness to attack tight windows and elusiveness to be effective on the ground, while North Carolina's Sam Howell is swift through his reads with a resume of off-platform success, though he saw his production slip in 2021 following the loss of key uncertainty has been the theme, but it is for the lottery nature of the draft that you might refrain from writing off the long-term starting credentials of any. Alongside them awaits Nevada's Carson Strong, Western Kentucky's Bailey Zapp, Western Michigan's Caleb Ellaby, Iowa State's Brock Purdy. College football's pass-catching factory. Drake London is perhaps a solid 40 away from being more widely acknowledged as the most complete, dangerous and outright frightening receiver in the class, a reputation that may come to fruition on the back of his USC Pro Day on April 5th. He towers as a contested catch nightmare, he deceives with underrated top-end speed and separation, he offers unsung versatility as a slot and outside option in addition to top-chopping deep threat and bubble screen focal point. The Ohio State tandem of Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave sits among the most query-free narratives when it comes to not only the receiver class but the entire draft. Those tasked with pinpointing flaws have had their work cut out. Fast, fluid, factory-built playmaking machines. Alabama's Jameson Williams was pegged back by an ACL tear, but that should not deter from arguably the draft's purest flyer built for the NFL's yards after catch. Transcend with the snatching hands and impressive catch radius to turn high balls into chunk gains. A now Tyreek Hill-less Kansas City Chiefs may be suitors. Western Michigan's Sky Moore excels against press coverage and boasts one of the most complete route trees, George Pickens' concoction of power and explosiveness. Would be more commonly raved about were it not for his ACL tear with Georgia and Arkansas. Treylon Burks is an elite chess piece and number one receiver in waiting, with some of the best hands in the class. Miss out on them and you still have Jahan Dotson, Christian Watson, Jalen Tolbert, David Bell and John Mechie 3 in play. Once again, it's a wonderful time to need a receiver. The Risers. A pads-off combine exposé of staggering athleticism has prompted he may be a monster game tape epiphanies in catapulting Georgia edge Travon Walker up draft boards and towards the top 10. Walker has the speed, agility and at the snap power that makes him a unique threat as both a pass rusher and run stuffer. To label his Bulldogs teammate Jordan Davis as a fellow riser may be a disservice to the unquestionable disruptor he is, but between a freakish 40-yard Deshauned phenomenal agility displayed in drills he might have reassured teams over just how high a pick he warrants. North Dakota State wide receiver Christian Watson has managed to debunk customary questions over small school opposition as a rangy deep threat, electric yards after catch slalomer and accomplished blocker. And while most are enamored by the Kyle Hamilton show, Maryland safety Nick Cross has crept his way up boards as the tight end and slot receiver hitman. With the bruising engagement power, sharp anticipation and explosive shutdown speed warranting second-round buzz. It may be wrong that it took a position-leading 40 time of 4.34 to heighten recognition, but if it earns him some extra dollars then so be it. Question marks. Unfair and unjust it may be, Kayvon Thibodeau remains chief opinion splitter at the top end of the first-round candidates. The Oregon pass rusher goes early, but how early? Some will attest for destructive power, elite instincts and premium get-off. Others will tell you there is inconsistency to his work ethic. I know who I believe. The tape depicts a game-wrecker. Rewind to 2019 and few would dare question who the top cornerback would be at the 2022 draft. Derek Stingley Jr. was LSU's next blue-chip product, flaunting the attributes of a NFL star in waiting. His production faltered in 2020 and he managed just 3 games in 2021 due to injury, so a lopsided sample size has fueled intrigue and opened the door for Cincinnati's Gardner to take center stage. Though for him to remain a strong top 10 candidate speaks volumes as to faith in his talent and the showcase he put on as a freshman. Michigan edge rusher David Ohabo was a first-round lock, maybe still is a first-round lock, but faces flickers of doubt as a first-round lock after tearing his Achilles at his pro day. His rushing arsenal is tricky for offensive tackles to forecast. His footwork gives him a mental and physical edge in his speed. Closes space effectively, but how will a cruel injury setback impact his stock? Texas A. dropped catches in a 5.03 40-yard dash at his pro day. The depth of the tight end class may not help him, either. The unsung. The beauty of the draft is the ability to be besotted by a player of which others may think little. The playing field is open, all opinions are welcome. Ridiculously futile amid a process that can be a minefield for talent doubters. In an age of Deebo Samuel dreaming teams, Kentucky wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson glistens as your utility man, gadget menace, jet sweep and screen running Rubik's Cube with home run ability at all 3 levels of the field. Missouri's jinking mismatch problem Tyler Beatty has the potential to prove himself as the most reliable pass-catching running back in the class, while it is hard not to be fascinated by the transition of 6'9" 380-pound offensive tackle Daniel Faalele to the next level. Amid the Gardner, Stingley and Andrew Booth-loving, Auburn cornerback Roger McCreary projects as a potential steal as he outweighs short arms with physicality in press coverage, sound instincts and a sharp change in direction. Only Kobe Bryant, 37, had more pass breakups in college football than McCreary, 29, since 2018, according to PFF. San Diego State edge rusher Cameron Thomas brings a standout swim move, relentless motor and versatility to line up as anything from 0 to 9 technique, having spent time on the inside early on at college, and Georgia linebacker Nakobe Dean, even as a potential first-round pick, is still short of appreciation for one of the leading defensive IQs and space-suffocating ferocity. Tight end depth. Such has been the development of the modern tight end and its production of bigger-bodied unofficial wide receivers. Investment in the position is on the up. Depth in the position is on the up. And the latest tight end class is as deep as we have seen in some time. Trey McBride appears to lead the pack in the wake of a breakout year at Colorado State, across which he showcased the sticky hands, sharp release, run after catch ability and blocking proficiency of an NFL starter to be on his way to 90 catches for 1,121 yards and a touchdown. UCLA's Greg Dulcich is probably not too far behind with excellent separation and effective en route physicality. Iowa State's Charlie Kolar arguably warrants a place under the unsung section as a proven red zone threat and PFF's highest-graded college tight end in single coverage last season. Behold your solid pro with exceptional hands, desired measurements and a knack for getting open. Virginia's Jelani Woods stands to be one of the most athletic tight end specimens scouts have ever seen, with acceleration and after-catch speed to complement his remarkable size and the catch radius that comes with it. Coastal Carolina's Isaiah Likely is meanwhile deemed one of the best route runners and dynamic pass catchers in the class, though faces questions over his blocking prowess. Ohio State's Jeremy Ruckert provides tried and trusted versatility as both a receiving option and adept blocker, and Maryland's Chigozie Okonkwo boosted his stock with the fastest 40-yard dash at the combine among tight ends. The current first-round order: Jacksonville Jaguars, Detroit Lions, Houston Texans, New York Jets, New York Giants, Carolina Panthers, New York Giants via Chicago Bears, Atlanta Falcons, Seattle Seahawks via Denver Broncos, New York Jets via Seattle Seahawks, Washington Commanders, Minnesota Vikings, Houston Texans via Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens, Philadelphia Eagles via Miami Dolphins, Philadelphia Eagles via Indianapolis Colts, Los Angeles Chargers, New Orleans Saints, Philadelphia Eagles, Pittsburgh Steelers, New England Patriots, Green Bay Packers via Las Vegas Raiders, Arizona Cardinals, Dallas Cowboys, Buffalo Bills, Tennessee Titans, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Green Bay Packers, Kansas City Chiefs via San Francisco 49ers, Kansas City Chiefs, Cincinnati Bengals, Detroit Lions via Los Angeles Rams. Stay across skysports.com/NFL and follow at Sky Sports NFL on Twitter as we bring you the latest free agency and trade news while also building up to the 2022 NFL